Hey guys, I haven't made a video in a couple days because I don't know, I just didn't have any ideas, and I wanted to try to get something because I don't want to get off schedule. So these are some games that I think is either underrated or I don't know what we're gonna call this video. This is some games that I don't think gets enough love. So yeah, let's get started. First, we're gonna start off with some PS Vita games. I don't have a huge PS Vita collection, but this first game is Freedom Wars. So it's an exclusive to the system. I think it's a really fun RPG. It has a lot of customization. I haven't played all the way through it because I got a good bit through it and then I stopped for a while and I forgot what I was at, so eventually I had to restart it. But I've had a lot of fun with it, and I think this is one of the cheaper PS Vita games you can get. It's around $10, so if you ever do collect for it, then this is one of the first things. And the second one, I just wanted to say, because everybody gives this game a lot of hate for being a bad port. Personally, I don't mind it. I either that I just used to bad games, so I guess. I play a lot of bad games, so maybe it just doesn't faze me. But personally, I had fun with it. I rather play it on the system, on the main console, but personally, I played this on a few car trips, and I've had a good time with it. Only thing is, I don't think it's worth the price it is now, but it doesn't get enough love. A lot of people give it a bad name. Next is Pet Pet Adventures by Neopets. I know what you're thinking. It looks very cutesy and cartoony, but it's a top-down adventure game. Not certain. I don't remember the name for it. Usually I call it Diablo type games, or this old game called Fate. I used to call it Fate type game, but it's like that. Just with cutesy little pets, you can make your pet, go find new equipment. You can even color your pet. It's a weird game, but I think it's a good bit of fun. And you can find it for around $3, $3 or $4. So it's not an expensive game. It's a fun game, and the system isn't that expensive. The PSP is a really cheap console these days. Next is some DS games. These two I'm listing both on the same because I haven't played number 2 yet, but I played number 1. This is Spectrobes. This is a game made by Disney. Reminds me a lot of Pokemon in a way because you collect different types of monsters. I don't remember what they're called. Played it a while back. I enjoyed it. I don't remember all the lingo in it. There's these monster type things that help you fight the bad guys, and you can like level them up, evolve them. You get them from fossils, and you bring them to life and train them. It's fun, and especially since these games aren't that expensive. I think these are around $3. I paid $3 each for these. They're really cheap games, and I think they're a really fun game, for at least for the price. Next is a newer game in my collection. I actually had the price tag still on it. I forgot to take it off. $3.95. This is called Lost Magic. I think that's what it's called. Yeah, Lost Magic. This is a really fun game. You go level to level, and how you attack people, you draw different designs on the little bottom screen to do different types of magical things, like shoot a magical thing to damage the enemies. So you do one to heal, and then you have a certain amount of magic that you have to make sure you don't run out of, and it refills automatically. You just it's a fun game. I really enjoyed it. I'm planning to get more into it. I've only played around an hour of it so far, but yeah, let's get moving. Next is a game that a lot of people really don't like because the original game, I've never played it, but it wasn't what this is. This is a 2D platformer. Just based on games I usually play a lot of budget games, a lot of cheap games, a lot of crap games. I think this one's pretty fun, and it's not that expensive these days, mostly because no one really liked it because it wasn't like the original. But I think it's a fun 2D platformer. I think it's polished enough. I think it's fun. I just think that people weren't expecting this type of game from the franchise. I don't think they wanted it. But for me, since I had no expectations on the series, it was cheap. It was made by Nintendo, so I think it's very fun for that. Next, I'm going to be doing two. This is the Adventure Time series on the 3DS. I haven't played the dungeon one. I plan to. I'm ordering it today. I'm ordering off eBay, but the Adventure Time, Ice King, Why Did You Steal Garbage? I think this one's really fun. It's clear that the creators had a lot of fun making it. It's clear that they cared about it. It plays a lot like these Adventure Time games. Most of them play a lot like Zelda. They get a lot of inspiration from that. Which, you know, this series is somewhat similar to Zelda, I guess, and it matches up fairly well. And a lot of the power ups and everything you get along the way is from the show, and I think it's really neat to see. I think I got around 12 hours of playthrough, and I only paid like $3 for it, so it's a very good deal for that. And I think it's a really enjoyable game. It plays like Zelda. This one plays like Zelda 2, which means you go across the world and go into different levels that play like a 2D platformer. I had a lot of fun with it. You even get to level up your character. You get to level up your strength, your speed, and your power. I think I don't remember what the other one is, but there isn't strength, speed. Okay, I don't remember what the other one is, but it's fun, and I beat this one recently, and it's really good for what I paid for it. And next is another underrated game that, like these Adventure Time games, didn't only come out on the DS. Like they also came out on the bigger platforms. Just I prefer them on portable console. This is Adventure Time Finn and Jake Investigation. I plan on picking this up on a home console because I originally had it on home console, but I sold it. But this is a very good port of that home console. It doesn't look as pretty, but it's a detective game. You go and find clues. You go and bring this thing to that thing and combine things to solve puzzles. And I had a lot of fun with it. And I enjoyed the show, and I enjoyed this. I enjoyed seeing all the characters. And I think it's a very pretty game for being on the 3DS, especially since you can get this for around $20 these days, even cheaper if you go used. And I really enjoyed this game. I'm not sure if it would be as enjoyable if you don't watch the show. It might, but again, it might not. But one thing, these Adventure Time games aren't the hardest game. You can adjust the difficulty, I think, on the first one. I'm not sure about this one. But I think it's very fun, at least to me, and I think people don't give them enough love. I'm not sure about the Mystery Dungeon one, because I never played it yet. And I'm not sure about the Switch one, but I know these two right here are very fun. Next is Project X Zone 1 and 2. These are kind of a weirder game. I don't see people talking about it that often. It's a crossover game, but it's like a tactical turn-based strategy game. And it has all the different characters. That's actually why I picked up number 2 first. I picked it up because I seen Leon Kennedy and I seen Ryu, so I grabbed it. And yeah, it's a very fun game. I really enjoy it. Only thing is, I expected it to be a fighting game, at least from the back. You might get that wrong. Yeah, when you go and attack someone, it has a little animation that makes it look like a 2D fighter. It's a really fun game. Only thing is, there's a lot of talking in it, which is fun. I think I enjoyed it because I like seeing these different characters, meet and talk to each other, and I really enjoy that part of the game. But again, from what I played of it, there's a lot of dialogue, like a lot of dialogue. But I think it's really good. You can get it for around $5 each these days, and I think it's cool enough just to see Dante meet Leon Kennedy. That's what I hope happens. I haven't got all the way through it yet, because I was playing it for a little bit, then I dropped it for a little bit, and now I gotta figure out where I'm at. Next, we're getting to the end of the pile, is Fossil Fighters Champions. I got this at a thrift shop a while back. I went to a thrift shop. They had a whole bunch of games for $3 each, so I piled up. Most of the games I knew. This one I didn't, but it looked interesting. It had a little anime boy on the cover and a dinosaur, and I've heard of the name. And yeah, I got it for fairly cheap, but I know it's around a $15 game, like used, but even for that, I think it's worth it because it's a very fun game. It is very similar to the Pokemon series from what I played so far. I haven't played a lot of this one. I played like an hour of it. I haven't played it a whole lot. It's one of those games that on my backlog I'm really wanting to get into, but I have other games in my list before that. But yeah, it's a very fun game. It's very similar to Pokemon. I don't like the characters. I think they talk a little bit too much. Pokemon, most of the characters are blank slates. But yeah, it's a fun game for what I paid for it, especially since I only paid like $3. Next, getting to the end of our pile. First, I'm listing these two together because they're very similar. I can't tell. I played these as a kid, but I can't tell which one I played as a kid because number one is good, but then number two is just number one with an extra stuff added onto it. It's not really number two, more or less. It's just number one with stuff added onto it. So I'd rather you get number two personally, but it's a fun game. I really enjoyed it. I got these fairly cheap. These are around $5 games, and these are exclusive to GameCube, I think, as far as I remember. I think they are good, but some games, eventually get released on other consoles after the generation. But these are very fun games. I've had a lot of fun with it. I'm not sure if it's just because I have memory with it, because this was one of my first GameCube games I ever played. But I think it has very simple combat. It's very fun. It's somewhat that doesn't get boring. All the combos are pretty simple to understand. And I think it has a good selection of characters, at least for how much it is. And in case you haven't noticed, I'm a Naruto fan. From my headband on my head, on my neck. Next, we're ending with Lego games. Yeah, I'm not a huge Lego fan. We're gonna start off with Lego City Undercover, which this just tells you how much I enjoyed this game because I bought it on the Wii U. And then I bought it on Switch. And I bought it on the Wii U for like $10. That's usually my limit for games. When I buy used games, I don't buy them for that much money. $10 is my absolute limit, so I bought it on that, and I really enjoyed it on the Wii U. Only thing is, it had a lot of motion controls in it, which I'm not the biggest fan because it just feels like it was shoved in. Especially, I don't like the Wii U with motion controls. I don't mind maybe the Wii, to look at things through your camera, you have to move the controller around. It's just not my thing. So that's what the Switch improved on. It looks better graphically, and it took a lot of the things I hated out of the game, and I got it for a good deal. I got it for like $20, but it's a really good game. I enjoy this a lot more than their other licenses because I just think it's cool that they made an original idea. They have original characters, and don't correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not mistaken. I'm not a Lego guy. But I'm pretty sure it's based off a building set that they do, because I know there's a lot of Lego City building sets, but I'm not sure if it's based off that directly. But I think it's really cool seeing all the creations, all the things, like when you crash a car, you can see the piece of Lego falling off. It has a lot of detail on it. Only thing is, I don't like how some buildings aren't made out of Lego, personally. You can tell it's not made out of Legos, but besides that, I think it's a great game. You can get it cheap on PS4 and Xbox One nowadays. Even though I prefer it on the Switch because I think it's a fun game, but I think it'll be more fun on the go. But let's get moving to our last game. It's Lego Worlds. I'm not a big Lego fan. I'm not. I started getting them every once in a while when I see them cheap, or when I see them on the Switch because I like having Switch games. But and usually they're cheap. But this is Lego Worlds. This is a game that I think is really underrated. It doesn't play like the traditional Lego game. A lot of Lego games play exactly the same. They play exactly the same mostly. At least from my experience from the games I played, they play very similarly. This is more of a building game, and that's why it took them so long to make a game where you build with Legos. But they finally made it, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it's a very fun game to play. It has a good variety of building things you can mess with, and you can not like Minecraft. You can actually make policemen, firemen. I'm not so why. It's like I just enjoy making police stations and making my little town, making my little houses, making dinosaurs roam my town. I think it's very fun, and there's a lot you can do in it. There's even the Lego Ninjago characters in here. I think that's a nice little bonus since they own it. Only thing is, I wish that the people from Lego City Undercover, I wish Chase McCain was in it. I thought that would have been cool, if they own the licenses, but whatever. Well, I'm about to get going because I'm about to the end of my time limit. But thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe, and maybe if you know any other games that are cheap that are pretty good, tell me. And I might make another one of these in the future because I have other ones. I don't have time. So thank you guys. Please like and subscribe, and see you guys later.